Hello, hello, my beautiful sacred masculines. Here we are again for our weekly tarot and oracle card reading. If we get to the oracle cards this time, I'm not sure that we have actually. But that's okay. We're all about spontaneity and going with the flow, right? So what's been up for me, and the focus and theme of this reading will be around sacred sexuality. What do I mean when I say sacred sexuality? I know I've mentioned before that I was going to do a video on this, a whole video, and it's starting to come out right now. So hold that thought. First, let us set our intention and just set our sacred space. So I have a little bit of sage here. As always, we are setting intention for just some beautiful connection and exploration of sacred sexuality. Just put it like that. Thank you, fire spirits. Thank you, gorgeous energies. That's not so lovely. Highly recommended to get some sage to cleanse your area and just help to bring more presence into it and help to ground you down into your body again. So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you, sage spirits. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wahoo! Okay. Don't burn yourself though, it doesn't feel good. We're all about the senses, but well, and some people are into pain, right? Not totally my thing, but okay. Hopefully that goes out. Yeah, so sacred sexuality, technically everything is sacred, right? Everything is God, where this is all one experience. The universe, the cosmos, everything is really technically one energy, and there is no, this is sacred, this isn't. There's a phrase in a quote from the AA book, Alcoholics Anonymous, where some of my spiritual path really got started. Either God is everything or God is nothing. And though at that time I was really struggling with the word God and my understanding of it as some white dude with a beard in the sky, something about that phrase really stuck with me. And it really is like, yeah, either it's everything here is sacred and divine, and it is that one, or nothing is. You can't have just part. It's not just, oh, this is God over here and this isn't, this is sacred and this isn't, because again, that's where our human judgment is coming in and determining what is good and what is bad, what's positive, what's negative, what's sacred, what's profane, so that's a human experience. Everything just is. So when I say sacred sexuality, that really, again, everything is sacred, but when we put that word, that term with sexuality, it gives us a whole different flavor and a whole different vibe, and really opens different things up for us, as opposed to my just saying sexuality. If I just said that, that's a very different feeling than when I say sacred sexuality. The sacred sexuality, just saying that brings in more thought process and more consciousness, and it changes how we're feeling about it, and it's changing our vibration around that. So that being said, what I mean when I say sacred sexuality is I'm talking about being a lot more present with our sexual energy and our sensuality, having a lot more presence, a lot more consciousness, a lot more awareness of the energy, how we're utilizing it, how it's moving for us, what we're doing with it. Just really, and it's being present. Like, sexuality doesn't mean there's a partner involved. It doesn't mean having sex. It's our sexual energy that is part of our life force energy, as I've talked about plenty of times before. So how are we relating to it? Are we recognizing how gorgeous and beautiful and amazing this energy is? Or is it just an unconscious, like, oh, I'm turned on right now and I want to have sex? Is that our baseline? Or are we more aware of the energy and more thoughtful about it and more conscious of that it is the life force energy, and it is an energy that moves through us? And yes, having sex, intercourse, or self-pleasuring is one outlet, one experience of that energy, but it's much bigger than that. It's so much more than that. It's our passion, it's our purpose, it's our creativity, it's what we put out into the world. It's part of how we connect with ourselves and with each other. You know, what that like that desire that draws us to things and things to us, you know. Yeah, when we feel passion towards something, when we feel that sexual spark, and again, this sexuality isn't just about sex, it's so much bigger, but when we feel that, you know, we're magnetizing, we're drawing that energy to us, or it's drawing us to it, you know. So are we recognizing that? Are we open to a different experience of our sexuality? And there's so much more when we're connecting with another person, or we're connecting with ourselves, say in self-pleasuring. A lot of us tend to have grown up where it's just been a really unconscious thing, and it's been more kind of like a reactivity to a way that we might be feeling. We get turned on, and then therefore it's like, oh, I need to release this energy. I need to have an outlet for this energy. So we'll masturbate, we'll self-pleasure, we have sex with our partner, you know, but it's more of kind of like the energy arises and we need to get rid of it. You know, we need to find an outlet for it versus allowing it to circulate, savoring the moment, savoring the energy, seeing how it can feed so many more aspects of ourselves, really fuel our passion and our creativity for life itself and living this beautiful life. You know, when we just expend it out, we don't get to see the fullness and experience the fullness of that energy. And not to say that sexual outlet isn't awesome and delicious and yummy and like desirable. Sure. But there are other ways to experience this energy and to play with it as well. So, and again, coming back to the presence, a lot of us really tend to be in fantasy and in our minds, or in worrying about how we're performing, how we're showing up when we're in sexual relations. So that's taking us out of our consciousness, taking out of our presence with our partner or with ourselves. You know, a lot of times when we are self-pleasuring, masturbating, we're in fantasy. We've got something going on in our mind that's fueling the energy that's giving it, again, an outlet. There's an object attached to the energy, as versus just letting it flow and experiencing the deliciousness of that energy as it moves through our body, and breathing it up, playing with it, expanding it, seeing how big it can get, and maybe not releasing it, you know, maybe just allowing it to move through, and the aliveness that brings to our experience. So yeah, ultimately we've been trained that there's supposed to be some sort of object to this. And again, nothing wrong with connecting with a partner. That's beautiful. I love it. That's amazing. But there's just another way to play with this energy. So what I'm talking about when I say sacred sexuality is just having a lot more consciousness and presence, and being open to explore that energy beyond what we've been taught is what we're supposed to do with it, which is to expend it, which is to have an object that it is attached to. So there's a lot of breathing practice, visualization, allowing the energy to, you know, when it arises, just like recognizing it, noticing it. You know, when you see something, when something turns you on and you're like, wow, I'm really feeling sexual, I'm really feeling like I desire something. Can you stop and just be present with that feeling and that experience and just allow it to move through you, versus like, I have to do something with this energy, you know? This brings me to, I think it's Daniel Oda. There's Daniel Dieda. There's two different authors that I get mixed up. So the book is called The Way of the Superior Man, and he talks about this energy a lot, and how to play with this energy in a whole new way, and how to circulate the energy, and how to not need a focus or an object or an expenditure to it, and how strengthening that can be, and how empowering that is when you take back control of your sexual energy. And again, we've been told what we're supposed to do with it and what it's supposed to look like, but it's not. And when we take control of that, when we start playing with it in a different way, it really changes our experience. Then we get to decide what we do with our energy and how we expend it. And when we are in that conscious deciding and choosing, we don't have to be so goal oriented. We can really be in it and savor it and play with it. And that's when it can open up for us so much, and we can have, you know, a much different a physical experience and an energetic experience of that sexual energy. When we learn to move it through our body and connect with a partner in a way that is circulating the energy with them, there's such a deeper connection and an expansion of what is being experienced and felt. And you go way beyond this kind of like just little genital. One of my teachers called it a genital sneeze. An orgasm was a genital sneeze, because it's just like all this tension right here, and just, you know, then it just kind of when we take that energy and we're breathing it up and maybe circulating it with a partner, you can just already see, you can already feel the difference in that, just talking about it, you know, like. And then it doesn't have to just, you know, it's such a different experience. And you can, what tends to happen is you circulate that sexual energy for way longer, and you can have an erection for way longer, because you're, again, not so focused on the outcome of having ejaculating, orgasm, what have you. It's a very different experience. And this is also what helps to, for when we connect much more deeply with our partner, we feel their energy. And this is something you can do by yourself as well, and I highly recommend to practice with yourself. There's a blog post. I know I keep referencing blog posts. I need to include links down below, where I detail many different breathing practices and exercises that you can do to start playing with this energy yourself and start moving it. And so then when you do get together with a partner, you have a lot more understanding of how this energy works and flows, and you're able to be more conscious with your partner and with that energy, and maybe help them to flow it as well. And it just completely changes the experience. But again, what happens, and I apologize if I'm kind of all over the place, I just get an idea, something's in my mind, and I sit down and I start talking about it. So I don't have like a set, you know, like bullet points, and I'm just going where the energy is flowing. So and now I totally lost my train of thought. That's perfect. Okay, no, what I was saying is, when we start playing with this energy in a different way, we see how it starts opening up different areas of our lives, and how it starts flowing over into, again, our creativity, our passion for life, for projects, for experiences, connections. You know, it's a very different, again, it's not just this one energy that's attached to a certain outcome, and once that happens, then there's some sort of satisfaction, but it's never really that satisfying, because then we just kind of tend to want more of that, right? So when we open it up, we get to start seeing what the truth of that energy really is, and how it is our life force energy. We start to understand that, and we get a deeper connection, not only to ourselves and our environment, but to source, to spirit, to the divine, because it starts opening up our energy channels, and we start feeling more of a unity and oneness with all that is, versus just, again, being in our tight little small area here. You know, we have a lot of restriction in that energy, and it's just very tensed up and bound right here. When it flows, our whole experience opens up. And this is just one place to start. There are many places to start along our spiritual path. I tend to, sexuality and sensuality has always been a big thing for me. So I've always felt that there's a deep connection with the divine, and with connection. It's how we connect with each other, which is the merging of the two that makes one. The one splits into two to experience itself and then splits into the many. But ultimately we desire this return to union, and that's why we want to come together with the other, because we deeply desire that. I mean, that's just really a fundamental, kind of makes the world go round, right? That desire to come together with the other and come into union and be merged and be one. So that's, to me, has always been just very sacred and very, it's just been such an important part of my life. And so that's kind of been my end to spirituality, and hence my talking about it. But again, there's many other ways to play with this and to practice with this. But that sexual energy is, again, it's just our foundation. It's our baseline. It's our life force energy. So learning how to more consciously connect with that and play with that and move that through our experience really changes our whole experience. So I think that's a pretty basic general into that, and what I'm talking about when I'm talking about sacred sexuality versus just sexuality. I am desiring to bring a lot more consciousness to this experience that we have of our sexuality, our sexual energy, our sensual energy, more consciousness around our bodies and how we're connecting with our own bodies, connecting with other bodies, and again, just presence, being present with ourselves, coming down into ourselves, coming down out of the mind. So much of our sexuality is a mental thing. And I'm not saying that there's no judgment here at all. I'm just opening us up to looking at different ways to explore this. And our bodies are capable of so much more pleasure and so much more feeling and sensuality than we've allowed them to be, because again, most of our sexual experience tends to be up here in the mind. So when we bring that down into our body, bring that energy down into our body, move out of the mind, everything just opens up and shifts. Our physical experience, our energetic experience, our spiritual experience, our emotional experience, and our mental experience, because if we're up here like worrying about what is our partner thinking? Am I doing well? Am I going to be able to maintain my erection? What if I'm not getting an erection? Oh my gosh. And do I look attractive? Is my partner desiring me? Am I doing this right? Blah, blah, blah. It's just not fun. And it's no wonder we just want to build up to the experience and then have the orgasm and go, okay, whew, that was great. But again, we're left feeling kind of like missing something, I mean, for me personally, I don't know, I can have orgasms all day long, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it gets kind of old, doesn't it? I know there's so much more possible. There's such a deeper connection with myself, with the universe, with my partner. Orgasms are just like, I don't know, again, it's like a genital sneeze. It's just this physical experience, but I'm always kind of left wanting like something more, something deeper, something more expansive, something more, I don't know, again, like, I mean, I can masturbate with my toys and have an orgasm. That's not why I desire to connect with another. It's not about just that orgasm. Orgasms are, I don't know, they're just there, Not that there's anything wrong with orgasms, but it's just kind of like, it's a beginning. It's a starting point, but it can be so much more. We can have full body orgasms. We can have energetic orgasms with the divine, when the whole cosmos is moving through, just like and we're so connected and in unity with our partner, and love. There's love that comes through, this blissful love that just brings tears, because it's so connected and there's so much unity and oneness. And this is this is a very real, tangible experience. This is not like it takes years of practice to get to that point. It's just really coming down into the presence and just being connected and opening to a different way. A little bit of guided breath work, a little bit of, guiding into the experience, and this is why I offer the sacred sexuality sessions, because this is very within your reach, and I'm happy to guide you into that experience and help you open up a whole new experience of your sexual energy. So feel free to reach out when you're ready to start playing with this, and again, refer back to that blog post. I'll try to remember to put it down in the bottom. I'm even trying to remember the name of it now, but to start practicing with these breathing exercises, and highly recommend getting this book, Way of the Superior Man, and start hearing it from his perspective. And I learned so much about myself from reading that book. It was just a game changer. It's been a very powerful one, and everybody that I recommend this one all the time, anyone that has read it is just like, wow, thank you so much. So seriously, check that out, and get a really good understanding of what I'm talking about and how to play with this energy, and not just in connection, in union with another, but to take it out into your life and how it deeply changes your experience of relationship, how you relate with yourselves, how you relate with a partner, and just being in your strength, in your power. We give so much of our power away in sexuality, in this desire to have that orgasm. We kind of like lose it, and like, I gotta have this, I gotta do this, and we do some stupid shit, just to go and get that orgasm, so again, bringing it back into your power, coming into your power with your sexual energy. It shouldn't be controlling you, it shouldn't be, our sexual energy shouldn't be making us do stupid shit. And we bring it in into power, into our power. It is our life force energy. Again, I know I keep saying that, but there's so much more to say about this. So that'll just be a start. Wow, it's 22. It's exactly 22 minutes when I looked at the clock. 22 is a really powerful master number. And if you're not familiar with numerology at all, that's just something to, if you start seeing numbers like 11, 11, 11, 22, any of the double numbers, 33, 44, maybe you have a number that you see very regularly. 26 is a number for me that I see a lot. And 1226, that was the time I was born, and so that shows up for me regularly. And I finally looked it up one time. I was like, what does this number mean? And it really said so much about my whole life. It was like, oh my gosh, no wonder. So now it's just kind of shortened to 26, and I looked that up recently, and it's just like, yep, that's so my jam. So yeah, if there's numbers that are speaking to you, get onto the internet, type it in, like whatever the number is, plus numerology, or I like to type in spiritual meaning, like 22 spiritual meaning, 22 angel number, and see what comes up for you. The numbers are powerful wisdom tools and guidance. There's a lot of guidance that comes from the numbers when they start speaking to you, so and maybe now they will, that I've pointed out to you. Yeah, so that being said, let us go to the cards to see if there's any thoughts or wisdom they have to share with us. So we again welcome in, thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Father Sun. Thank you to all the angels that we work with, our spirit guides and helpers. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, beautiful cards. Thank you to all the wisdom tools that support us so beautifully. Thank you, plant spirits, stone and crystal spirits, animal spirits. And that's coming down into our present moment, coming down into our bodies, breathing into our bodies. Taking a couple of deep breaths as we get ready to connect with the cards, and just really open to receive any wisdom that supports us on our journey into sacred sexuality, and being more present with our sexual energy and more conscious around it. Thank you. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, beautiful cards. Let's see what we have for the week here for reflection. Woo. Okay. I'm gonna pull one more. Or a whole bunch more. Okay, well this is really interesting. Alright, I'm just gonna go with it. I normally pull less cards, but let's just see what happens. And on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, cards. You sit right there. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Okay. Whew. A lot going on. A lot going on. That was at the end. I'm going to put that there. This here. Okay. Here's what we've got. Really interesting. Okay. I'm seeing a story emerge. A theme for sure. All right. Okay. I recognize sometimes I get excited about just diving in, but I'm going to take a moment to like let my guides come through and let the universe like move through and open to the energy that wants to come through. Okay. First off, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. The Ten of Swords, the 10 is a completion. It's the end of a cycle. The minor arcana cards are in suits. And again, as we've talked about, earth, air, fire, water. This is air, mental. The swords, it's the mind. And the 10, they go from 1 through 10, 1 the beginning of the cycle, of course, and 10 the end. So here's the 10 of Swords. This is the end of a cycle, the end of some mental spinning and mental machinations. And the fact that it's in reverse, that's how the card is normally. It's in reverse. When a card is in reverse, I tend to think of it as more of our internal process. So for me, this card is telling me that a lot of like mental, in context of our discussion around sacred sexuality, like this kind of mental machination and mental way of approaching our sexuality in the mind, and old belief systems around our sexuality is and the internal, how we've internalized that. But we're at the end of this cycle and we're ready to release this. We're ready to step into a new way. And then this moves into the King of Cups here. The cups is our emotions and our intuition, and it's water, it's the flow, it's the sacred feminine, where the air is more the masculine. But this is the King of Cups. This guy is like really in touch with his emotions, and he's a master of his emotions, and he's able to make decisions connecting with his emotions, but also using his intellect. But he is not afraid to be in his emotions, and he is just like, yeah, I totally got this. I mean, he's in the water. He is swimming in his intuition, in emotional mastery. But he's on solid ground also. He's like in solidity in his emotions. So he's very confident in his emotions and utilizing his emotions to connect with the world and to move about the world. So when we bring this into the context of the sacred sexuality, it's like as we're moving out of this swords, this mental energy, we're opening to a different experience and a coming into our emotions around our sexuality and our sensuality. Moving down out of the mind, we were talking about getting more into the body, and this is the water is the feminine, and this is connecting more with our feminine energy around sexuality as well, which is really about coming down into the body. I'm gonna trust that feeling right there. we're going to keep working with that card and exploring it. So, and then the Ace of Wands here, which the Wands is the fire energy, and that's again our spirituality a lot. I feel like the Wands is our spiritual transformation, transforming old belief systems into new belief systems, old energies that don't support us into new energies. A lot of, and again, it's reverse. This is the beginning of this suit. It's new energies. It's a new fresh way of being, and it's a new fresh spiritual energy, new action coming in. And again, since it's reversed, it's internal. Where are we ready to make some changes with our spiritual energy internally, especially given this is the sexual energy that we're talking about? Where are we ready to open to those internal energies more and connect with them more fully and bring it in. Again, this is what we were talking about when we were looking to, like, the sexual energy needs an object. There's, you see some attractive person and you get turned on and you think, I need to have that. I need to connect with that. Versus just recognizing that it's your own internal energy, and it's a beautiful energy of the cosmos and of the human experience, and it doesn't need an object. So this is again bringing it more internally. How do we work with this energy in an internal way? How do we connect with our own internal energy and just bring it inside and savor that moment and savor that experience, savor that energy, and let it move through to support our spiritual growth and connection, and given that this is the one, it's the ace, it's the very beginning of this suit. This is a new journey. It's a new start. It's a fresh start, and it's fresh energies coming in. How do we connect with those? And then here we have the Tower card. The Tower, you see the lightning is coming out and striking and just demolishing. The people are falling out of the tower. They're jumping out. This is an old structure that's ready to come down, and the lightning from the sky is the cosmos. It's the divine. It's destroying the old structure that is not serving. It's time to go, and sometimes that comes as a shock. It's kind of like they weren't prepared for this. They're diving out. They're like, shit, we gotta go. This is coming down regardless. So sometimes it's that moment where it's just like, okay, this isn't working for me, and it's time to make some changes here. It's time to really do it. So this is a crumbling of the old foundations, the old sexual belief systems that are not serving us anymore, the old ways of relating to our sexuality, the old ways of relating to our sexual energy. If you're open to it, let it fall apart, let it go, because it hasn't been serving us. It's kind of some empty connection. Again, it's just like this little genital sneeze when it can be so much more. It can be so much more. So, and then here is this is the Five of Cups, and this guy is in mourning, and he's looking at these 3 spilt cups. He's like, look what I lost. But right behind him, if he would turn around, there's 2 beautiful cups that are right there. And those 2 cups are the cups of the 2 of cups in the deck are the lovers. They're beautiful connection. And it's a card of love and connection, communion. And so let's not mourn what we feel like we're losing, these old ways of being, this old experience of sexuality, just open to the new, open to new ways of being, and really just embrace that. And then we've got here the Page of Wands, again in reverse. And the page is also, it's very much like the Ace of Wands, now new, fresh energy. He's just ready to go. He's got his wand. He's ready. He's looking out into the world. He's ready for his adventure. The pages are always kind of new, fresh energies and just getting started. And he's been through, this comes after the 10. So 1 through 10 is kind of a journey. And then he's taken all that wisdom that he's learned from that suit of wands, all that spiritual growth and that transformation. And he's ready to embark on this new way of being, a whole new way of being. And again, since this was in reverse, it's an internal experience. It's more of an internal experience. So where are you ready to really start opening to a new experience of your sexuality and sensuality. If you're here listening to this, there's something that's appealing to you about a more spiritual approach to your sexuality. And yeah, it's not an accident that you're here, right? Something inside is calling you to open to a new way of being, and open to and maybe if you're watching this, you're totally connected with your spiritual sexual nature and essence. But I know a lot of people are just getting started with this and just exploring this. And again, your being here is a sign that there's something appealing to you, and something is calling to you to start opening up your experience more and start connecting with yourself and your energies in a whole new way. And spirit is calling to you, the goddess is calling to you and telling you, like, hey, come play with me, you know, come play with me in a whole new realm, in a whole new way. Let's open this shit up, and let's like really like get to know what the human body and energy, the potential is. I mean, it can be so much more. We are expanding, we're evolving in a really big way right now, and that's why we're here having this conversation about more conscious sexuality. You know, it's time. So yeah, if you found yourself here, listen to that, follow that, check out my programs, check out our trip to India coming up, you know, check out my sessions, like check out my blog posts, check out all the resource lists. There's so much for you there to really start you on your path, like really get you going, or support your path wherever you're at in your spiritual journey. You know, whether you're just beginning, whether you've been doing this for years, there's something on my website to support you, and some sessions to support you. And yeah, my program, 12-week program, is going to get started again in June. So I'm just going to take a moment to plug that right away. Whole description: empowered, masculine, total life empowerment and transformation. I'm not sure what I've named it again, but a 12-week deep dive program into so much of this energetic experience, that really clearing out the old belief systems, really stepping into a new way of being, really bringing a lot more consciousness and awareness to how you go about your day, how you go about your life, how you go about your sexuality. So and it's there's a very detailed description. I'm going to make a video about that soon too, and get more into that. But in its one-on-one sessions with me every week, where we're going to really deep dive into so much of this, and really get into it, and really open up the experience, and bring a lot more, again, consciousness into everything, body, mind, and spirit, and how we go about our lives and our daily routine or experience. So profound things have happened for people that have gone through that program. Yeah, check out my the testimonials page too, to see what other people have experienced with that program. It's been a total life changer and game changing for people. Again, if you're ready to really dive into your spiritual path and like wondering what's my next step, this is a perfect way. It gives you a practice, it gives you just a lot of new ways to be so much more conscious going through your entire day. It's just it's exquisite. So, and then we move on to going on to our next, we're at the 9 of Swords. This is like a lot of, look at this person, they're in a lot of mental anguish right there. The 9 of Swords is just that stress, anxiety, overwhelm. You know, they just they're up at nights, like their mind is like spinning. So, and again, because this is upside down, this is a little different one, but it's because this energy is already internal. But yeah, where are you internalizing this energy that might be having a real negative effect on your body, you know, your body, mind, and spirit? When we're too in our mind and we're dealing with too much stress and anxiety, our bodies suffer from that, and that could be really having an effect on your physical experience, you know, dis-ease in the body. Again, when our energy isn't flowing and moving through, it gets stuck in our bodies, and that's where inflammation comes in, disease comes in, and it's our emotions and our mind, our stress, like stuck, trapped in our bodies. So that's another thing about the 12-week program. It comes with an energy restoration session every week. So really helping to open up that energy for you and get it to start flowing and breaking up those blocks, and just, you know, really clearing that. So, and then it moves into this was on the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Cups. So we had the King of Cups previously. Now we have the King of Cups. So this is the suit of emotions again, and intuition, and that sacred feminine wisdom. And when we have both the king and the queen here, I mean, she is just totally in her power. This is really connected to herself, her intuition, her sacred feminine energy. We have the king and the queen here. So this to me symbolizes a deeper connection in union, a deeper connection with our sacred feminine and our sacred masculine, internally and externally. You know, when we start this process and start opening up a new way of experiencing our sexuality and connecting with others in this way, it really changes our relationships and the type of the relationships that we're in already, or the type of people that we draw into us. Because once we clear those old ways of being, we're no longer attracting people that support those old ways of being. So we're drawing in more nurturing, nourishing, fulfilling, satisfying, passionate, creative, inspiring relationships and experiences to ourselves as we release those old belief systems, old ways of being, old ways of connecting. It changes our frequency. And then that draws in other things that match our frequency that's at a higher vibration. These are all lower vibration. And again, it's not negative or positive. It's just density, you know. Lower density frequencies and vibrations attract lower density frequencies and vibration. Like attracts like. It's just physics. It's how the universe works. It's not, there's no judgment. But when we want to elevate into a different experience and have a higher vibration experience, which is one that's got more love, more consciousness, more presence, more connection, more joy, more peace, more serenity. That's just the higher vibe frequencies expressed in that way. Lower vibe tends to be anxiety, fear, stress, anger, rage, hurt, sorrow, sadness, depression. That's just what it is. Again, no judgment here. But when we recognize that, like, okay, I don't want to be in this frequency anymore. I'm going to do something to move up to this different frequency. And it's not really moving up. Our actual frequency is pretty high. We've just taken on a lot of being in this 3D world that has a lot of lower vibration experiences. We've kind of taken that on and think that that is us. But so the moving to a higher vibration is one more of clearing out the low vibe. Again, like I said about the energy that's like kind of stuck in our bodies, we're not moving up, we're just opening the frequency, we're opening the flow, and that allows our natural energy to flow through. We're just kind of kinked up and stuck in some things. So opening that up, again, it's not really changing our frequency, it's just clearing out the stuff that's gotten stuck. So which is causing the anger, the frustration, the stress, the anxiety. It's because it's not allowed to flow. There's tension. I talk about a kinked hose. When you have a garden hose, you know, and it's kinked up, something's stuck, it just keeps building pressure, and there's nowhere for it to go. When you open it up, it just flows out. The energy just flows, you know, and it changes the experience. It just, the water's allowed to move through. And that's how our own energy is. Once we just break up those kinks and clear it out and open up the channels, it just flows through, and it allows for a very different experience and connects us more with that love, peace, serenity, joy, creativity, passion, expression, confidence, courage, self-worth, love, etc., etc. Which is why we desire to go through this process of clearing out, opening up, releasing, dismantling the tower. You know, the shit's ready to go. Let's do what we can to support it, right? So again, that's why you're here. Obviously, there's a reason you're here. You wouldn't be here if something in you wasn't calling you to get started on this path or go into this a little bit deeper. So something here is sparking you, and I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for that. So I think that's a lot here. You know, this is really supporting us to release that mental anxiety, recognize how it is moving in your life. How is it affecting you? And Are you ready to start that internal process of moving into a new way of being and a new way of experiencing and a new way of relating, not only with another, with a partner, but with yourself and your own sexual energy, and bringing it back into that sexual energy piece? I'm gonna do this. We're gonna and not to get lost into what we think we're missing, because there's so much here for us. There's so much here. We're just letting go of some old stuff. You know, the tower is breaking it down, the foundations, and then it moves right into this fear of loss and maybe mourning what we think we're not getting or what we think has disappeared. It's just stepping into a new way of being. It's new energy. And it is, maybe when this is reversed, it's just like getting used to this new way and opening to it, and maybe a little like fear around this new way. But it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous. And it moves into, you know, like this is a release. This is a release of these energies and that stress and the anxiety that we've been carrying, you know, and then it moves right on into mastery of our emotions, mastery of our intuition, opening up of our intuition. This is part of what's happened in our society. We've gotten very disconnected from the feminine aspects of ourselves, the feminine side of ourselves. So men especially, you've been told that emotions are bad. Don't cry, don't feel this, don't express this, you know. You're very disconnected from your intuition, you know, because it's all about logic. You need numbers and proof and you know, what's tried and true. Show me the results, show me the numbers, show me the proof that this is going to work. I need to see it. I need to, you know, I need to be able to measure it. This is when we start connecting more with our sexual energy and really into our bodies, you know, we start opening that up, and we start being able to trust the universe, trust in the divine, trust ourselves to know. We don't need some external thing telling us how to be, how to do, how to feel. We get to start coming into our full experience and connecting with our own feminine energies and our intuition and our emotions in a really healthy and beautiful way. And we start to get that whole experience of ourselves, not just the hyper masculine, which is this society. Again, no judgment. We're just missing a lot of ourselves when we're cut off from our emotions, and we're cut off from our intuition, and we're cut off from that beautiful feminine energy of ourselves that experiences the world in a very different way than that very masculine, logic, linear experience. But when we blend the two together, because that's what we are, again, the two, sacred feminine, sacred masculine, that come together and create the whole. They are the one. They are the one. They're just two different aspects of the one. One is not better than the other, but we can't have too much of one without, you know, and not enough of the other. It needs to be in balance and harmony and union to come into that one. So that's what this will do for us when we really step into this journey of sacred sexuality and really start opening up to all of our energies, not just this mental experience and this little genital sneeze of what we've been taught sexuality is and sexual expression is. So that was a long one. I can really get going on this. I'm so passionate about our coming into a new way of experiencing union, experiencing our own sexual energy, of experiencing connection with our beloved, connection with each other, connection with the divine, connection with this beautiful Mother Earth. You know, that's just I'm gonna stop there. I pray that this serves you well. I pray for all of us to know that deep inner love and confidence and courage to be ourselves and to be connected to that sexual energy that wants to flow, that connects us with our passion, our own individual unique passion, and how that expresses out into the world to shine our light bright. So may this support you on your journey in whatever way. I pray it sparked something for you. And again, let me know when you're ready to dive into this. I'm here, and I would love to support you in your process in any way. Again, we have our upcoming pilgrimage to India, where we're really going to deep dive into all of this sacred sexuality and into the sacred feminine, sacred masculine energies and expressions in a very sensual, very spiritual environment. It's just going to be pretty epic. So check out my website for a whole webpage on that and so much more details. Again, we have the 12-week program going to be starting in June coming up. So again, check out my website for more of that, and stay tuned for more information on that when you're really ready to seriously dive in. And then again, I have all of my gorgeous sessions, one-on-one sessions, sacred sexuality sessions, to really support you in your process and help you to learn how to open this sexual energy and expand it and play with it, and understand it more, and see how that works in union, and what is possible when we really open the energy up. So and then I have spiritual guidance sessions as well, if you'd like to deep dive into your own personal experience. I have energy healing sessions to really support you to move through these blockages and discover the blockages. Like, if we don't know where they are and what they are, it's hard to move through them. So bringing that to your consciousness and awareness and helping to move through. So utilizing sound and frequency, and really and some shamanic practices, and really yeah, there's a lot that goes into those sessions to really, they're really expansive, body, mind, and spirit. So very healing, very restorative, very clearing. Yeah, so I think I will stop at that. I've kept you long enough, my dears. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our beautiful, beloved Mother Earth, beautiful goddess. And thank you, Father, Son, our beautiful God energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our angels, all of our spirit guides and helpers, our ancestors. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our beautiful bodies for hosting us so beautifully in this gorgeous adventure. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and our bodies are our vehicle for that. Amazing, amazing. So yeah, thank you for being here. Follow me on Instagram. I've been doing daily dance meditations and just having a blast with that. So I look forward to connecting with you in whatever way sparks you. Sending you so much love, and thanks for being here. Bye.